somehow I got caught up in watching this show called What's My Line? It's from the 50s and 60s. And I see things in 1965 and I realize, oh my God, this was just stuff that was happening in the midst of a cultural war. You know, civil rights acts and things like this. And everybody on that show, even though it's in black and white, they're all white. They're Caucasoid figures, and everything seems just fine. I'm like, wow. This is like stepping into the past, picking it up, putting it on your shoulders, and dumping it on the present. There's just so much fucking silent. Oh, siete. He's a black cat with a shojita ponyo. That's Chinese for my little black friend. Ah, siete. And so I'm watching this thing, and you know, it's not like forcing itself down my mind. This is just something you think in passing. What a weird time that's coming back into play. Not dreading it. You understand the plot line. You know what's coming. It won't be so surprising. Just keep us all separate. But the thing is, I got on this path because I saw like Jimmy Stewart was a surprise guest. I didn't know what this show is, What's My Line? And as it turns out, it's What's My Line of Work. They have regular people. They have women, men's hair barbers. They have professional mind readers. They've got crocodile hunters. Oh, they were talking about this shit way back when. Guys from Rhodesia killing fucking crocodiles. God, get them. Takes a white man to kill a fucking crocodile, evidently. Nobody else is that interested in killing everything around them. But you're seeing all these different people come through, and you watch, and at the end of the thing, all these women, like the woman that was a men's hair barber, they were asking questions, intimating, inferring that she was a whore, and everybody laughed in the audience. She was just a tall woman from Sweden. She cuts hair. And it was unusual to have a woman that was a hair barber, but she was standing over 6 feet tall. She was a tall, fucking blonde, fucking Swedish, good-looking woman, flat-breasted. But if she'd had bigger boobs, her dress would have fit her better. But you know, those women were Vikings. It's the same reason you want balls that suck up against your fucking groin. You don't want to lose them jumping over a fucking barbed wire fence or somebody swinging shit erratically. You got to keep things tight. Function over form. And these guests, they would get done and they'd go walk and they'd say goodbye to the panel. Buddy Hackett was on one of them. Yeah, I don't know. I did an impression once of him and it amazed me, but I could never repeat it. They would come by. There was a man, 4 panelists, relatively famous people. Jerry Lewis was one of them at one point too. And the first day he announced that he was taking over the Muscular Dystrophy Foundation, he must have only been 30. That guy'd been doing it for years. You want to talk about a fucking clown that made a difference? There it is. That's when the gesture took the podium. He took care of things for people, and he did great things. And the guests would get done, they'd go by, and on the panel, 4 people. A man, a woman, a man, and a woman. They had 4 panelists. And the man would be standing up they'd come shake the man's hand. I noticed after about 3 or 4 episodes, there was a rhythm to it. The man stood up and the women stayed sitting all the time. And I thought at first because it was a man approaching them, and then I realized they're still following that same etiquette. Even if a woman contestant came by, the woman would sit on the panel and raise up and shake the person's hand, and the man would be standing next. She'd shake his hand as he stood and respected, and then the woman would be sitting and she'd reach up and shake hands. And it made me realize what a kissing of the ring it was. You know, that's the thing. People kiss a woman's hand, there's etiquette to that. And I've done it at a funeral. It's only a married woman you kiss the hand of, and she's supposed to remain seated, and you bend down, kneel in front of her and kiss her hand. That's a matter of respect. Instead, people use it to hit on somebody. You're trying to fuck somebody's wife. Is that what's going on? The women they would sit. And I'm like, for another woman, you should stand, I'm thinking. But then Betty Davis was on the fucker, and she came walking through, and those two women both stood about halfway up and shook her hand. Oh, because they respected her. See, you saw the respect these panel members had, and the envy and the disdain from woman to woman, even though they're sisters at heart. They just played this stuff. But then, congratulations, girls. You know you're better. You know who your better is. Eleanor Roosevelt was on the last one I watched. And when she was done, she seems like such a wonderful woman. She was a journalist, too. So I have to look up some of Eleanor Roosevelt's, Franklin Delano Roosevelt wife, you know, the first lady there. The lady, oh, no, not lady. Yeah. Need to look up some Eleanor Roosevelt journalism articles and see what she's got to say. But when she walked through there, she just seemed so just pure, like Buddha type stuff. She really did. And when she walked past that panel of 4 man, woman, man, woman, man, 4, they were all standing. The women were standing as tall as they could and shaking her hand, and they respected her. So I could see it. If they don't give full respect to a woman that cuts a man's hair in public, they're thinking of her as a whore. I can see they do have a level of respect. And it was interesting to see Betty Davis didn't get as much as Eleanor Roosevelt. And I find that very heartening. If you want to go to Make America Great Again, that might be the one instant right there where there was respect for someone who deserved